Hey, this is Nick Aldis, your favorite GM, former world champion, and friend of K100 despite being on probation. A few years ago, I started Legacy Sports Nutrition to sell high-quality supplements made in the USA to people like me and hopefully people like you. Since we launched, code K100 is the most used promo code at LegacySubs.com, which is a testament to the listeners of this show as intelligent people who care about their health and performance with bestsellers like Test X9 Testosterone Booster and our Recovery PM Sleep Aid. I use these products myself, and so does my wife, Hall of Famer Mickie James, as well as a bunch of your favorite wrestlers. Try our stuff now at LegacySubs.com. That's LegacySupps.com, and use code K100 for 10% off and to support this podcast.
Michael Neves, subject to Cody Backlash. First, I'll just go, you did a great job in the cross interview. Thank you for finally taking the fan criticism on board. My question right now in your YouTube poll about Saturday night's main event, the match with the least vote for best is Cody versus Drew. Plus, on the latest SmackDown, WWE started taping off large segments of the hard camera side. The general feeling online? Fans are getting bored of Cody Rhodes. What I'm asking you guys is, obviously Cody is still a great wrestler, but how would you get ahead of this backlash? For me personally, I would have him drop the title clean to an up-and-comer like Jacob Fatu. Cody can still be a top guy, but it wouldn't hurt him to take a break from being the top guy. P.S. I was lying about Disco helping the cross interview. In reality, Disco ruined it by making it all about him instead of asking the guest questions. Going to assume he did the same with the Kofi one, too. You ruined the mailbag, too. Also the show reviews. Suspend Michael Neves for a week.
Okay. What's he saying?
He said I ruined everything.
Disco ruins everything.
Right. Yeah. Dude, so WWE is finally in attendance, all right, starting to feel the effects of flat creative for an extended period of time.
And high prices.
And it's not Cody's fault. It's the whole show has kind of like been stale. And when they hit another good hot angle, things will turn around. But like, the only really good things that have happened, like the Punk and Drew angle, I thought was really good TV. But other than that, what has been really good television for them? Cody's stuff has been kind of just, I don't know. He's still over huge.
They're going to be in trouble with Cody and his reactions because he's got a belt and Punk's got a belt. Now, if they build to those guys facing off, Punk's going to get the crowd and Cody will get booed.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that they still like Cody. All right. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard no boos. I haven't heard no people turning against him.
Yeah.
And I think that if he fights Cody, they will both get cheered.
You mean against Punk?
Against Punk. They'll both get cheered. I don't think, and Disco said something and I disagreed with him and I was wrong. He was like, well, what are they going to do with Punk now that he's got the title when he first won it? And I said, they'll figure something out. And they really haven't.
When Cody won the title.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who did I say?
Punk. It's no big deal.
Yeah. When Cody won the title, when he first won it, Disco was like, yeah, well, what are they going to do with him? What are they going to put him against? I go, they'll find somebody. There's enough talent there.
Right.
And there is, but they haven't found anybody that, like, give me Joe or Disco. Give me one good feud that he's been in since he won the title. And I might be missing one.
I like the feud with Owens.
Owens?
But was that before the title win? Was that before the title win?
Yeah, that one was pretty good. Yeah, that actually was pretty good.
That was good.
We beat him up in the parking lot.
That was good. Yeah. I think he did have the title. Okay. So that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like his stuff with Drew. I don't know why they haven't rewarded Drew yet.
Right. I'm eyeing college football. Who's your pick for the Heisman? I'm loading up on parlays and player props like Saquon Barkley breaking his own single-season rushing record. Got a lot of work to do. FanDuel has you covered with player specials and unique props, like home run props. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on all the action. Download now. FanDuel Sportsbook, where winners play. All right. So that was all right. So then Raw, a couple nights later, they were in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. And so Punk came out, basically gloats a little bit, about being the champ. He says he's got a target on him, and there are a lot of people who'd like to punch in the face. He mentioned Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Heyman. He also mentioned AJ Styles, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Sheamus, and John Cena. And he closed by saying the champ is here. Then Logan Paul comes out. Punk said he wants to be a fighting champion with anybody but you. Punk told Paul to go to SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov is having an open challenge. He said that's more Paul's lane. He said, anyone the noble CM Punk, a man of his word, right? Paul said. And Paul mentioned several stars he wrestled and boasted that he beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Then Paul Heyman walked out with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Heyman said His guys were taking a walk to the ring, and Heyman told Paul that the front of the line belongs to the man who pinned Roman Reigns. Heyman said the front of the line belongs to the future world champion, Braun Breaker. And Heyman recalled when we were the WWE Championship, Punk was 2 days into his title reign and 430 days shy of his record. Heyman said he wasn't the one who lost the championship, and Heyman told Paul he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and told him to leave, told Paul to leave. Paul chirped back at him. The Breaker told Punk that he's coming for what belongs to me, called Paul a YouTuber who thinks he's tough. Then Breaker told him to get out of his ring, and Punk told Paul that he could fight with him or get the hell out of his ring. Then Paul opted to leave, and once Paul was at ringside, Breaker and Reed stood in his way, and Breaker shoved Paul to the ground. They attacked Punk, and then Paul stood up and seemed dismissive of the attack, but then he went in and fought Breaker and Reed. They got the better of him, and Reed hit him with a tsunami. Then Punk returned to the chair and cleared the ring. So this was kind of like very, I don't know, this was weird, the way they were painting Paul in this, like, I don't know. This was,
Yeah, they kind of buried him.
yeah. What'd you think of this, Konnan?
I thought it was funny when Paul came through the curtain and he was like disgusted.
Mhm.
That was kind of funny to me. Yeah, he kind of got buried. Heyman goes, I see it without an owner. This was really long. They could have cut this. I mean, this had to be almost 30 minutes.
Yeah. It wasn't that long, but it was long.
Yeah.
Because Punk talked for a decent amount of time.
This had 20 minutes for sure.
Right.
When he started to swing the belt around, the people were popping.
Right.
He's just super over, right?
Right.
I thought it was good that, that when they were outside the ring, Paul wanted to get through and Breaker pushed him,
Mhm. Right.
And bro, he got mega heat and he looks like a great heel. He acts like a great heel. He was out there and all he was really wearing was his shades,
Right.
and he doesn't get nervous in a position that would make other guys with his level of experience nervous. But he's been doing YouTube so long, cameras ain't to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought Paul just looked like a great heel here until they punked him. But
Right.
I can guarantee you the way they've been pushing him and what they think of him, he will get some sort of get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Rikishi DI is that he doesn't seem to have commented yet. There's nothing on Twitter and his YouTube. He hasn't done a new episode for a month, so it's coming.
I think he's in the hospital. I think I had read somewhere that he was in the hospital.
Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, get better, my friend.
Yeah, man. Get well soon.
So then we do Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. In 12 minutes, they put the heels over here. They gave Roxanne Perez a win over Nikki Bella. So you knew that if they were good, they weren't going to beat Stephanie Vaquer. So
Well, she also beat her last week, if you remember.
yeah. So they're giving her a little bit of a push, I guess. She's on TV every week. We're giving her a couple wins, whatever that means.
Or they're gonna wait to a big match like a pay-per-view and have Nikki go over.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It
then they're
just says
doing-
Rikishi had an unexpected health scare and an unexpected surgery at the end of October. So there you go.
So next, they had a thing backstage where they had all the names in the Tumblr thing. They're spinning it around for the tournament, the 16-man tournament that for whoever faces John Cena next. So Punk was walking backstage. He was approached by Jey Uso. He said he knew he'd been all over the place, or something his heart was telling him to help. Punk asked who he was talking to. Jey said he appreciated the fight on Saturday, referred to Punk as the best in the world. Said Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed be coming after him had he won. And he asked Punk to let him help. Punk said he would go get his gear on, and they pumped fists.
Hmm.
So
Did you see Punk shared a statement from the Chicago Teachers Union, DI, right? And it was kind of like celebrating Mondami's election as mayor of New York City. And it says basically Mondami's following in the footsteps of Brandon Johnson. And I was like, does any major city mayor want to follow the step? Because Brandon Johnson, we talked about his approval rating and stuff, how super low it is.
it's terrible, right?
Yeah, that's not who you want to follow. So,
Right.
but Punk is a liberal type.
It's in Chicago. They're all
Yep.
liberals.
Yep.
All right. So they do Penta versus Grande Americano with the Stooges out there. Penta was having to fight off the Stooges during the match. And they ejected the Stooges from ringside. Then the Americano had his thing that he put in his mask, his illegal object, and he went for a flying headbutt. Penta super kicked him and hit the Mexican Destroyer and got the 3 count over El Grande Americano.
No,
You could tell El Grande Americano likes working lucha because he likes taking these lucha moves.
yeah.
And then the Rayo and Bravo got beat up afterwards too by Penta. So Penta went over strong here.
Yeah.
Because they were in New Mexico. Maybe they thought they were maybe they thought because there's in New Mexico, there's a bunch of Mexicans there, so they put Penta over. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm sure they put him over because they were in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. Did I not say that?
Yeah, it's in Mexico.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
The people really into it, which they should be. I thought it was good. I love when he gave him that kick when he came off the second rope or third rope, the super kick.
Mhm.
The people really popped for that. I thought it was a good match,
Right. So then we go to the Kabuki Warriors vignette where they're talking in Japanese and they have the English.
And then I
subtitles.
just want to say this. I think they overbooked a little bit by involving those Americanos because they're not really over,
Right. They had to kick them out like they were interfering, so.
Right.
So then they did the Kabuki Warriors vignette with the subtitles. It was actually good.
Right.
I like their characters.
Right.
So then they did Dom comes out. Okay, so remember we talked, Dom has not had a promo in front of people in a long time, right? And we were saying, I wonder if it because he's getting cheered, if they're going to give him the booing out of the building treatment. Or maybe they didn't want the booing out of the building treatment, right? But they still consistently kept booking him as a heel. But when he spoke tonight and got the mic, they did not boo him out of the building. They actually just listened to what he had to say. So that gimmick has jumped the shark now, I guess, where they're booing him and not letting him talk. So he talked about his successes and said nobody can stop him. Then Rey Mysterio comes out. Tentator said, "Daddy's home." Rey said Dom looked surprised and said he had to draw the line when Dom claimed to be the king of the luchadors. So then he got the Dirty Dom chants and boos combined. Like they were booing the people that were doing the Dirty Dom chant because Rey was out there because they like Rey, right? So Rey said that Dom insults their family, their name, and their blood. And when he makes that claim, and he asks about El Santo, Blue Demon, and Eddie Guerrero. And Rey said, "You keep my father's name out of your mouth," when he's mentioned Eddie Guerrero. And Dom said, "He is better than everyone Rey mentioned." And Dom said, "Knows for a fact he's better than Rey," who said Dom could disrespect him, but he wouldn't let him disrespect Lucha Libre. So he took his jacket off, and Dom accused Rey of being jealous. Said he's even stealing his mustache. Dom said Rey was just there to cash in because he made the Mysterio name relevant. And Dom said he's already surpassed everything Rey had done in every way, shape, and form. And Dom asked if he had to kick Rey's ass again. Dom told Rey to listen to the king of the luchadors and get out of his ring. And Rey said he would, but he said that as long as he's around, Dom would never be the greatest luchador. It wouldn't be his ring, and Dom would be the greatest Mysterio. And Dom swung at him, and Rey hit him with the 619, but went up top, and then Rey rolled out, and Dom rolled out of the ring. This was the biggest pop on the show for I thought.
Well, you gotta imagine, Rey's the biggest luchador in the history of WWE or the United States, right?
Yeah.
And there he is, everybody's singing his hero. Who knows how many generations didn't grow up on him on either side of the border. And then you got Dom, who's super, super over, even though some people were booing him, the reaction was crazy. I remember when Rey was setting up to hit the 619, bro, the people were going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a really good segment.
Yeah.
And plus, if they're going to go and have, Rey versus Dom again, Survivor Series is in Petco Park.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Good point.
Yep.
Good point. Yeah.
So what a reaction that'll get overall,
Yeah, especially San Diego because they're from there. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
matter of fact, I think I'd have Rey beat him, and I don't think people would expect Dom to go over because he's the younger guy, I would have Rey beat him there in San Diego and have the feel-good moment.
Bailey and Lyra Valkyria was scared of was upset about the Kabuki Warriors backstage with Bailey, and they did their handshake, and Bailey told Valkyria she would see her in the ring. So then they go to the announce table, and out of nowhere, Becky Lynch just showed up and stood on the announce table. Could have had a pretty good promo on Maxine Dupree. She was pissed off and losing her mind that everybody's cheering Maxine Dupree, and basically said one wrong move will be her last when they meet again, and welcome to the big time. She slammed the mic down and head to the back. While she was heading to the back, the Kabuki Warriors came out. And so they had a face-to-face, and Becky and Asuka went face-to-face. And then she went to the back. So I think they're definitely setting Becky up for a babyface turn. And she's got a good in for the babyface turn here because Paul Heyman, who's a heel, screwed over her husband, and they had words last week. So you could easily see Becky turning heel here. So then the Kabuki Warriors against Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. They did a spot where they knocked Valkyria into Bailey, knocked her off the apron. And Asuka caught Valkyria in the Asuka lock for the finish later. And then they started trying to get heat on them after the match. And then Alexa Bliss and Charlotte ran out there and ran the heels off.
Wait,
So-
I'm a little confused there. Do you say Becky would turn heel? Isn't she already a heel?
No, I
And
said
she
Becky's
said
going to turn
face.
baby face.
I thought you
That's
said
her
heel.
baby.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
okay.
no, she's going to turn baby face.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this was like, so this is the right team went over here.
Yeah.
And Charlotte and Alexa came out, so they're setting that up. So
Good
what did you
stuff.
think of this?
Yeah, that'll be a great match if they do that in San Diego also.
Yep.
Bro, I thought Becky, she didn't need 20 minutes, to get her point across, and she covered a lot of subjects,
Yeah.
from the Dupree and the corrupt referee. And bro, my best line of the night was when she said the only good thing to come out of New Mexico is a TV show about how much you do. That was that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll make my top 5 somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got a good promo.
Yeah. And okay. And then there's a backstage with Dominic, right?
Yeah, so then they go backstage, and Raquel and Roxanne were celebrating, and Finn and JD were back there, and a picture of Liv Morgan was hanging on the wall. President announced that Rodriguez would get a shot at the Women's World Championship next week. I don't. So Dominic enters the room and complained about his deadbeat father. Says, "Where were you guys?" And Balor said they could have helped had they been invited, but Dom wanted to do it all by himself and celebrate all by himself out there like an egomaniac.
Mm.
And Balor handed Dom the shillelagh he took from Sheamus and told him to keep it safe while they went to get their world titles back. Dom asked the ladies what was up with Balor and McDonough, and Rodriguez said Dom was the reason Balor and McDonough had to defend their titles in the match they lost. Perez told Dom she thought she should go help Balor and McDonough, and she said Balor and McDonough would probably stop being mad if he went out there. Dom said you make a good point, right? So we do the world title match, and AJ Styles and Dragon Lee have been the champions here for like 3 weeks. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, they got all these belts up. It's like this, like, I don't know. It's just like the show is like all over the place and how kind of flat some of these angles are, So they start the match and they go to the break. Coming out of the break, Dom's at ringside. Balor, they did a couple of, like, they both go for the stomp. He missed. They did a phenomenal forearm. Then Balor gave Dom instructions, and Dom went to the side of the ring and was going to hit Styles with the title belt, but he hesitated when the ref saw him. And Sheamus came out, attacked Dom. Then in the ring, Lee broke up a pin to save Styles, and Sheamus worked over Dom on the floor. And actually, they did a false finish with the shillelagh here, which I thought that was weird because I thought the shillelagh would be the cause of the thing, but basically the shillelagh did not work, and AJ in a very creative finish. AJ goes running into the corner. McDonough put his boot up just to kick him. AJ grabbed his boot, then grabbed his other thing, yanked him off the ropes, and put him in the Styles Clash and pinned him. It was actually a very creative finish. What did you think about this?
This was another good match. They had a really good match. Like, I don't know if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Right. I thought the action was really, really good. And it basically, in one of the slowest burns ever, the breakup of Dominic and Judgment Day, this only basically helps push forward that, maybe they're going to break up because Mysterio was tried, but he failed. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Do you know you were describing there, Disco, when you said you thought the shillelagh would be used?
Yeah.
I'll drop my screenwriting 101 knowledge on you. It's called Chekhov's gun. You know what that means?
No.
It means if you're watching a movie and they go out of their way to show you that someone has a gun in the drawer or there's a gun on the wall or something, and they make a point to show it to you, that must be used in the narrative. Chekhov's gun.
Interesting.
Yes. So if they're going to make a point to make the shillelagh a big deal, it should have been used in the finish there. They're ignoring the rules of storytelling.
Right. So Stephanie Vacker was leaving, and Nikki Bella stopped her and apologized for losing. And Vacker told her it was fine. Nikki said she's come back and made bad decisions. And Vacker said Nikki's amazing. She paved the way. And Nikki hugged her and thanked her. Nikki said she knew Vacker had a title match next week and said she would be there to cheer her on. And then they hugged and went their separate ways. So you know where this is going. Thankfully, I guess we're going to turn Nikki Bella.
Yes.
And give it, because still, I'm sorry, I still have not been impressed with any of Stephanie Vacker's creative so far.
Right.
She's still kind of just there, Well,
Well,
am I right, Konnan? Am I being?
No, you're not wrong. But here's a perplexing thing about this: people still dig her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be a good. I think the people will get with that feud if that's the way they go. Nikki turning on her.
And she's been very boring, since she came back. They obviously, when she says stuff like, obviously, maybe a lot of wrestlers young fans don't really know about Nikki, but when Stephanie Backer tells her, "Oh, you paved the way," I just have to roll my eyes.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Because you know what they're doing with her? It's almost like it's very patronizing in that they're saying, "Oh, she doesn't speak good English, so let's just give her the most basic babyface verbiage that, like the stereotypical babyface verbiage you could give somebody." And it's
Right.
like, bro, you can still give her more interesting things to say out there, even though her
Right.
English isn't good. She's just like, like it's like you almost think that she can't say a complicated sentence because she doesn't speak English. I'm like, it's so silly. It's like it's just boring, you know?
Right. Just just give it to her a week before and have her practice. And by TV time, she should be ready. You know.
And as far as Nikki
So
paving
this
the
is
way,
kind of interesting.
Go ahead.
oh, as
Go
far
ahead.
as Nikki paving the way, Konnan, she did main event the first women's only pay-per-view. I mean, that's,
Well,
you
Joe,
could
I
argue.
don't understand what is your fascination with her wrestling skills because, yeah, she got better,
Yeah.
but she never really meant anything. And let's face it, she was probably pushed because she was hanging out with Cena.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
don't
she
disagree.
never did anything for me except that she's absolutely stunning.
Yes.
Right. So Jay and Punk are wrestling Bronson Reed and Breaker. So Paul Heyman comes in Jay Uso's locker room, told him he was always his favorite member of the Bloodline, and said he couldn't understand why Jay would team with the man who stopped him from becoming World Heavyweight Champion 2 nights earlier. Jay said, "I don't know you an explanation because Punk faced him one-on-one with no tricks, and he respected that." And Heyman started to say that's not how Roman Reigns would do things. And Jay cut him off and said, "I don't care what the tribal chief Jimmy Uso or his family said about it, so he doesn't care." Heyman told Jay that he respects that. And he told him that he asked Breaker and Bronson Reed to hold off during the Battle Royal and during Jay match with Punk. And Heyman said, "Jay has a vision all of your own, and I like it."
Yeah.
Kind of weird. He's kind of
Let me make a point because he's made reference to the fact that he doesn't pay attention to Roman or his mom or anything like that. This is kind of for sure. It's the second week he said it, and it might have even been 3. I have a feeling that something is going to happen with Roman over those comments, or maybe even his mom.
Yeah. Yeah. And Paul's the perfect guy to come in the locker room and stir it up with him too.
Yeah.
So they're pulling the straws out of the hat here for the tournament, and the first 2 matches are announced. It's going to be Rusev versus Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. 4 guys that are definitely not going to win the tournament to see who faces John Cena in his last match. So I don't know. Like even announcing those is like underwhelming. It's like, you know what it was like? It's like it was even worse than like if they announced the college football championship. It's like these wouldn't even be any of the playoff games. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like these guys aren't ranked high enough to even be like in the playoff. You know, so
I could see any of those 4 guys facing Cena. Di, honestly, those are, I think you're underselling Rusev,
doing
Damian Priest,
double kazoo.
All these guys are big stars.
All right, so they do the main event match. Goes a double count out. They're fighting ringside. Double count out. So they ring the bell. Punk cleared the broadcast table and put Reed on top of it. Punk gave Jay instructions, and Jay went to do whatever Punk asked, but Breaker speared him. Then Reed recovered and put Punk down. Then Breaker and Reed brought Jay inside the ring. Reed held Jay while Breaker ran the ropes and speared him. Reed went up and hit a tsunami on him. And Punk came back with a chair, sent Breaker and Reed scurrying to the floor. Then they reached under the ring and pulled their own chairs out. So they come in, they have 2 chairs. Punk has a chair. Then Logan Paul enters the ring and stands side by side with Punk, while showing off that he's got his brass knuckles. Then Paul nodded at Punk, and just as Punk was about to engage both of them, Paul punched him and knocked him out with the brass knuckles. And he stood in front of Breaker and Reed. "Your move," Heyman told Paul, who removed the brass knuckles and handed them to Heyman. Fans were chanting in here, and the executive producer credits were shown, and Heyman smiled as he looked at the brass knuckles to end the show. You know what I think would be funny if somebody would do an AI edit, Joe?
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny is if they did somebody did a thing at the end of AEW and put and did like a graphic producers, a Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer. Would that be a funny thing to put on a post something?
Yeah.
People
and I'm sure somebody will do that.
What did you think of Logan Paul? Not even really. It's like, I don't know. It's like they tried to make him a baby. I don't know. This kind of made Punk look stupid a little bit. I thought I would have just been, if I saw Logan Paul hit the ring with the brass knuckles, I think his character would have been smart enough to bail.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That you're right. That's weak. Punk would not trust him, so, but they had to do it to get to where they want it.
I'm surprised Punk. The creative on the show is not something that I think Punk would have been cool with.
Agreed.
You know, I don't know.
I don't see his.
So,
I don't see CM
the
Punk
shows are
trusting.
people are talking about how flat the shows are. Okay, and they are, and the attendance now is starting to wane a little bit in some of the venues. And like, dude, they got themselves to blame. This has been flat for a while, but you need Roman. You need Roman back. Cena having these limited dates. He's everybody's talking about his match. It's like he's not even on the show. It won't be for like another. How long is it going? Is he on the show? He's got two dates left, right? Boston and the Washington, right?
How many appearances? I'll get it for you.
What did you think of this, Konnan?
Well, I thought that it was a good match, a little short for what we're used to. The fans are really, really that was a hot crowd. They probably don't get any wrestling TV. And what's the city called? I've never even heard of it.
What was it called? Rio Rancho, New Mexico. It wasn't even like Albuquerque or anything. It's Rio Rancho. Right. Actually, I'm gonna look. Hang on. Let me look this up.
Right.
Yeah, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, Rio Rancho Event Center.
I know that, but I want to know where it is relative to like how far
Albuquerque or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the map here?
Rio Rancho is directly south of Albuquerque. It says it's next to it. The south.
How far?
It says the distance is essentially 0. What kind of answer is that?
Oh, so they're in Albuquerque. This is kind of like
probably a suburb.
Okay.
This is like the Atlanta Braves playing in Marietta, Georgia.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Or the Philadelphia soccer team being located in Delco.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, so they're basically Albuquerque.
I like how Joe is very happy with the unfunny comments he makes. Yeah.
Of course.
Here's the other thing. Bro, the fans are, like I said, the fans can make or break a show. That we're really, really into this, as most Hispanic crowds are, right? I thought the action, they went over everything because it was really good. Everything they executed, right, was very well done. And then at the end, I was thinking, and I don't know, I'd like to hear your comments. When Logan Paul was like in the ring and he was kind of deciding what he was going to do, I kept thinking, bro, don't turn him heel. Don't turn him face. It's too early. And then I kind of convinced myself. I said, oh, well, he might do good as a baby face, but I did pop when he hit him, you know?
Yeah.
And it leaves the match, wondering what's going to go on. Is he going to join Division? Is he going to stay heel, but still he has heat with Division? And that's the way you want to end the show, where you're thinking, what's going to happen next? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I thought this show blew away SmackDown, which was very cold, and they started off right with a good hot promo segment, the women's thing, the Ray and Dominic thing, Logan Paul. Like, there was a lot of good things going on. And basically now you're planting the seeds for War Game, and further rivalries. You know what I'm saying? I like it. Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.